Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're going to dive into a really powerful idea from My Descent Habits that could totally change how you think about money. See, it's not just about how much you earn, it's about how fast you earn it. So let's get right into the framework for making your own middle-class comeback. So let me start with a question for you, a pretty wild one. What if you've already made a crore that's 10 million rupees and you just didn't even notice? I know, it sounds impossible, right? But stick with me. Let's break down how this actually happens.
Just think about it for a second. Over a whole career, say 25 or 30 years, even a pretty modest family income can easily add up to that 1 crore number. But here's the catch. When money comes in that slowly, it's just enough to live on. It sustains your life, sure, but it never, ever builds the momentum you need to actually change your life. And that right there, that gets to the heart of the real problem we're talking about today. It's not really about a lack of ways to earn money. No, the real bottleneck, the actual currency we should be focused on, is time. Check this out. You can earn 1,000 rupees and it can take you a whole day of hard work, or it can take you less than an hour. The amount of money is exactly the same. The only thing that's different is the time you put in. And that's the mental shift we're talking about, understanding that your money is just a reflection of your time.
So if you really want to change your financial story, the goal is pretty clear. You have to slash the amount of time it takes to earn. The big question, of course, is how? Well, let's dive into 3 powerful rules to help you close that gap. All right, rule number 1. This one tackles what is probably the single biggest barrier for most people, our own mindset. And for a lot of us in the middle class, this barrier comes down to one thing, our ego. I mean, have you ever heard someone say this? Or maybe you've even thought it yourself. This one question just perfectly sums up the kind of social pressure that keeps so many people stuck. We're taught that once you get that degree, you have to find a so-called respectable job that fits your new status.
And this is that trap in action. You get the degree, you start hunting for that perfect job, and you turn down smaller opportunities because, they feel below you. What does that lead to? Wasted time. The source tells this story about a friend with an accounting degree who spent two full years looking for the perfect job, saying no to smaller gigs. That's 2 years of momentum he can never get back. So the big lesson here is pretty simple, but it's huge. You have to value action over appearance. Getting started, even with something small, is how you build momentum. It's that first step that gets the ball rolling.
Okay, so that leads us right into rule number 2. Once you're willing to start anywhere, the next question is, well, where should you put your energy? And let me tell you, the advice you usually hear isn't always the right answer.
The source's own journey is a perfect example of this. For months, he was doing these pretty boring jobs, packing belts, data entry, things like that. He wasn't passionate about packing belts, that's for sure, but he was watching. He was looking for which of his little projects had real potential to grow. He saw it in YouTube, doubled down on his effort there, and boom, just a few months later, his income exploded.
And hey, this isn't just a small-scale idea. The biggest entrepreneurs in the world built their empires by spotting potential, not just following a hobby. I mean, Mukesh Ambani didn't just have a passion for cell service. He saw the massive, untapped potential in digital connectivity. Jeff Bezos didn't just love books. He saw the potential of e-commerce and used books as the way in.
So the key mindset shift is right here. You have to stop asking, do I enjoy this? And you start asking, where can this take me? Look at every opportunity through the lens of its potential for growth, not just how much you like it at the start.
Okay, so you've dropped the ego, you've found a field that has real potential. The last rule, rule number 3, is all about what you do next. It's about how you show up in that field to create something nobody else can match. This is a big one, because this is where so many people get stuck. They look at what they do, maybe it's selling a common product or offering a simple service, and they think, this is too ordinary. This can't ever be something special. But that's just completely wrong. I mean, think about it. MBA Chaiwala sells tea. Wow. Momo sells momos. They took some of the most ordinary, everyday products you can imagine and built absolutely extraordinary brands around them. They prove that any work can become exceptional if you stop just doing it and you start mastering it. And that, right there, is what mastery is all about. They didn't invent a new product. They completely changed the standard for an old one.
They got obsessed with quality, with service, with branding. They listened to customers and kept getting better, creating this huge gap between them and everybody else selling the same thing. So the lesson is crystal clear. Real wealth isn't built by jumping from one shiny object to the next. It's built by going deep, by committing to absolutely dominating the field you've chosen and becoming the undeniable best. So, let's wrap this all up. What's the big idea here? What's the main takeaway from these 3 rules? Look, what we've just gone over today, it's not some get-rich-quick secret. It's a mental framework. It's a way of thinking that tons of successful people use to compress time. We've just handed you the fuel. Your ambition, that has to be the fire. So the final question really isn't about whether you can do it. It's about whether you will start. So what's that one small step you can take tomorrow with your ego checked at the door to finally start closing your own time gap? Thanks for watching.